What's trending today?
Right out of the gate, we're going to kick it off with a bang today for a Friday. Happy to have back on the show my congressman right here from the 4th Congressional District of the great state of Kansas. Happy to have on the line with us here, Congressman Ron Estes. Congressman, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Andy?
Hey, doing great. Great to chat with you. Did you know that Tim Walz just says that we need to be more woke and just we need to let Democrats redefine the conversation again, apparently?
Well, I hadn't heard that particular comment from him, but Tim Walz was one of those guys when he was in the House of Representatives. If you saw him making an amendment, you almost did not have to read it because you knew it was going to be a bad. When you did read it, you were confirmed that it was bad.
Yeah, he's not the brightest crayon in the box, which is funny where they still think that he's got a chance to be some kind of voice in here. I want to talk about what you guys have been working on in Congress because it has been a busy time. So a few weeks ago, I had the honor, we got to MC your rally here in the Wichita area talking about permanentizing the Trump tax cuts, this TCJA, and moving forward with the reconciliation process. You guys were able to pass a continuing resolution to fund the government until the end of the year. And I got to say, Congressman, I don't know that we've seen a CR that actually just keeps spending levels flat. That's impressive all by itself before we even start moving in the right direction.
It really is that to at least keep spending flat year over year. I mean, you know, if we continued that with even with a small increase, 1 or 2% a year, the revenue will catch up. If you look back since 2017, and we passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, we had revenue increases of 48% or so into the Treasury. I mean, the problem is the spending's gone up 70%, and that's what's driven that. So it's a good thing we did on the CR. CR is not the best way to structure the appropriations process. We need to make sure when we're planning ahead that we're putting in good policies as part of what gets scheduled for the year's spending, and instead of continuing some of the old that are bad. But at least the CR gets that process behind us for the next 6 months. Now we can focus on the work that DOJ is doing, focus on the work that we're doing with budget reconciliation, and start focusing on the 2026 appropriation, which will be the first full year of a budget under President Trump.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. And you're right. I mean, it's not the best process, but we are 6 months into the fiscal year already. There's not much more that can be done. Limp us through this year and let's focus heavy and start early on this process for 2026, which leads to, like you said, the reconciliation process you're doing now. Where are we with this conversation? And Congressman, I remember asking you this last summer as well. Is there an opportunity we could actually see a full-on federal budget with 12 appropriation bills for the next fiscal year?
Yeah, well, I'll take up reconciliation process first in terms of where we're going there. There's that whole process is possible because we have Republican majorities in the House and in the Senate and have a Republican in the White House, so that we can actually focus on how do we put in law some restraints on spending and making sure that we're spending more on border security and defense of the country, which we can do, making sure that we actually have some savings out of the spending that's being planned on different programs that are out there. And the thing that's most important and the biggest piece of this is that don't have a 22% tax increase next year by making sure that we extend the Trump tax cuts from his first term. And you know, we've looked at this, and I know in my home state of Kansas, there'll be a roughly $2,200 tax increase if we don't get this done. And that's why it's so important. And at the same time, we saw after 2017, the economy grew. We saw more investment in the United States by businesses. We saw bringing back investments and intellectual property from overseas. Research and development was being done in the United States. Wages went up. I mean, there'd been a 30-year period when wages were pretty much flat for household income. And it's so good. Those provisions that have happened, we need to make sure that we don't go backwards.
Yeah, it's a really great point. I know as well, and this goes along with part of this conversation as you work on the reconciliation, work on the budget process for next year as well. Being the chair for the subcommittee on Social Security, there's been according to DOJ, the cutting of near 2 million people off of Social Security that were fraudulent payments going to people like over 120 years old, trying to reform that process. Are we seeing any gains there? And could we see that program actually become a little bit more sustainable to where my generation, for example, being in the mid-30s, might actually see Social Security by the time we retire?
Yeah, there's a lot of work going on now. Those folks are putting a lot of effort into that. We need to make sure as we talk through this that we don't misstate what all's been uncovered so far. Is that yes, there were a lot of records out there that did not show people that were dead, but people over 120 weren't getting checks. It just they weren't being their records had not been updated to show that they passed away, and so we want to make sure that we do have the correct and proper payments, and that's a lot of what we're digging through the process and in terms of what is working, and we want to make sure that people when they enroll, when they reach 67 and a half or 66 and a half or soon to be 67, that they can get enrolled correctly and timely basis, and they'll get the right amount, and payments aren't made to the wrong people. And so every dollar we save in improper payments or waste or fraud is a dollar that goes as a benefit to the people that deserve it.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, actually making it efficient and work the way it's really supposed to, which is a wild concept in today's times. Going through this process, you mentioned these Trump tax cuts. It is vital that we see this. I know that they expire at the end of this year with these Trump tax cuts for round number 1. I know you guys are working on round number 2 that we can get to in just a minute as well. But, I mean, it's insane to me to think that if we don't see these tax cuts actually be permanentized or at least extended further out, we could be seeing tax increases again by near $2,200 per family or per household. That's insane to me, Congressman. I mean, I know inflation's starting to come down, but I'd like to keep a little bit more of my money right now if possible.
That's right. And I mean, people are already suffering with inflation that came out of all the Biden spending programs that were out there. And you see, every day when you go to the grocery store, you suffer through the pain of the last 4 years, and you go get gas in your car and you see that. And you can't afford to add a tax increase on top of that. And the economy, I mean, we're starting to see some slowdown in the economy at the last 6 months of the Biden administration as the spending that they had made wasn't being turned into benefits for people. And so we've seen some numbers start to slow down there, and that's a continuing concern. We want to make sure we get this. We kind of call it the one big beautiful bill, but it's really the emphasis is we've got to get as much as we can done as soon as we can, so that people can make decisions and businesses can make a new investment. People can determine, whether they want to go, buy a new business, or whether they want to go, buy some more cattle to have in your ranch for next year, and be prepared to do that so that when 2026 hits, they're ready and seeing the value of that.
Yeah, it's a great point. We're talking with Congressman Ron Estes, my congressman here in the 4th Congressional District for the great state of Kansas. Talk about the numbers right now in the conversation that's being had. I know it's a slim majority in the House of Representatives and, of course, even a narrow margin in the Senate as well. They have their own battles. But for you guys in the House, are we mostly on board right now? Are you seeing the majority of support? Are you seeing some Republicans kind of waffle on this reconciliation plan right now?
We're mostly on board. We've passed that our first step, which was the budget resolution out of the House. Now the Senate's got to work on that. We had some good news this week that the Senate's going to take the bill up next week. Senator Thune said he's going to bring that to the floor in the Senate. In the House, there's some tough decisions. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that make get some handouts out of some of the government programs. And as we're seeing from all of the DOGE effort, that people squawk when even things that don't make sense are shut down and aren't moving forward. And so from a member in Congress, we want to make sure that we do the best we can to help the future of America. And Speaker Johnson's done a great job working with our entire conference in terms of making sure that different issues are addressed, and there's differences in different districts. We have 13 Republican members that were elected in districts that Biden won in the election. So there's a different set of issues there than for members that were elected in a district that Trump won by 30 points.
Yeah. There's a lot of work to be done, and if we are positive, and if we are at least productive in getting some of this stuff done, then I think we're going to be able to maintain a lot of those seats. Because if we're showing that we're doing what we said we were going to do, then I think it's going to be a positive response from much of those voters around the area as well. And I know you guys are hard at work on that. There's so much to get to, Congressman, when it comes to this process and the budget that goes into 2026 as well. But we are out of time. I know you got to run, my friend. It is Congressman Ron Estes, 4th District of Kansas. We appreciate it. Keep up this fight. So much going on behind the scenes. Let's get another update from you again real soon, brother.
Well, great. Well, thank you, Andy.
Hey, as always, it's Congressman Ron Estes right here in the 4th Congressional District.